I'd like to call the House Health Committee to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Representatives Boyd, Carringer, Clemens, Faison, Farmer, Gillespie, Hakeem, Hawk, Helton Haynes, Hemmer, Hicks of Hawkins, Hicks of Washington, Jernigan, Kumar, Martin, Mitchell, Rudder, Sherrill, Travis, Vaughn, Whitson, Williams, Vice Chairman Leatherwood, Chairman Terry.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. We have a agenda today. It's an organizational meeting, and so we'd like to go over some of the rules of the committee and get people to meet who's on our committee. And after that, we have a presentation where we will meet our new commissioner, Dr. Alvarado. I'd like to start off by having everybody get to know our members. So I'll start this off, and I'm Dr. Brian Terry, I represent District 48. That's the eastern half of Rutherford County. When I'm not here, I'm an anesthesiologist, so I can put you to sleep either talking politics or with drugs. So I do have MTSU in my district. I have the exact center of Tennessee. The monument is in my district. So if let's start with Chairman Vaughn. You are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Terry. I'm Kevin Vaughn. I represent District 95, which is in the eastern portion of Shelby County. Some may argue, but I believe that Into the Mystic by Van Morrison may be the finest musical recording that's ever been made. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tim Hicks, Washington County, East Tennessee, District 6. How do you follow that? Let me ask you that. So just glad to be here, excited to work on health this year, and look forward to working with the chairman and getting a lot done. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm Ryan Williams. I am a longtime member of the Health Committee, the 42nd District in Putnam County, Baxter, Cookeville, all good. Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Brock Martin. I represent District 79, which is part of Gibson, Carroll, and Henderson counties. I'm a chiropractor by trade, and it's an honor to serve on this committee.
I'm Gary Hicks. I am from East Tennessee as well as my colleague represented the other Hicks. I represent Hawkins, Hancock, and Claiborne County. And after a 4-year hiatus, I'm back on the Health Committee. So I'm glad to be back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Bo Mitchell. I represent District 50, which is the western portion of Davidson County, Goodlettsville, Jolton, and Bellevue. And I've got part of West Nashville now. This is my second term on the Health Committee, and just happy to be here. Thanks.
Representative David Hawk. I serve Greenville and Greene County in Northeast Tennessee. My role is to keep Bo Mitchell in line, and I have failed miserably. I apologize in advance to both the subcommittee and the full committee. Thank you, Chairman and members.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Yusuf Hakeem from Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's District 28. And my claim to fame is that my wife, Basima, has put up with me for 57 years.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am Clark Boyd from the 46th House District. That is the eastern half of Wilson County. This is will be my third year on the Health Committee. And like I said, live in Lebanon, and by profession, I'm an insurance agent. It's a pleasure to be on the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm John Gillespie. I represent the 97th District, which is mostly East Memphis inside the Loop. And my day job, I do nonprofit development at a retirement community. So really looking forward to be on health this year and see what we can do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. John Ray Clemens, I represent District 55, which is part of Nashville, and I'm excited to be on this committee for my 8th year, and I am excited to ask this new health commissioner a few questions today. Thank you.
Caleb Hemmer, I'm a freshman representative, District 59, which is the southern border of Davidson County. Work in healthcare, really excited to work on these issues. And 20 years ago this week, I started my career here as an intern in the Health Committee. So excited to be back. If y'all need any copies, I really know how to do that. And glad to be here.
We need some coffee right now. Love this guy. I'm Michelle Carriger. I represent District 16 out of Knox County, which is the northern part of Knoxville. And I'm starting my second term, but just to always try to top the district of champions on the other end over there. My district put out Kelsey Ballerina, and she was from the high school that I graduated from, Central High School. So top that, champion. I know I'm going to get paid back for that one.
Well, my name's Andrew Farmer, and this is my first opportunity to be on this committee, and I can already tell I'm going to love it. Ask the speaker to ask the speaker to put me on a committee without controversial issues and with bright personalities, and I think he at least gave me one of them, right? But anyhow, I've been on Judiciary Committee for about the last 8 years, and then I started on insurance. I've been on the state, but I'm really looking forward, Mr. Chairman, to being on this committee with you all and serving with you all and trying to learn something. Been in the House, this is my 11th year, and I represent portions of Sevier and Jefferson counties over in East Tennessee. So just really happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. State Representative Paul Sherrill, represent the 43rd District, which is Warren County and White County. And Warren County is our nursery capital of the United States. So we just want to say, if you have some nursery that you would like to have, come to Warren County and we'll be glad to sell you some nursery. Thank you.
State Representative Tom Leatherwood, District 99, which is northeast Shelby County. And blessed to have been married to my bride for only 32 years and have 5 daughters, and happy to be returning as vice chair of this committee. Thank you.
Glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm Sam Whitson. I represent the 65th House District, part of the southwest part of Williamson County. And I've been on Health Committee, I think, ever since Paul Sherrill and I first reported into the General Assembly in the famous class of 2016.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Iris Rutter. I serve the 39th District, which is Franklin County and Marion County. I'm starting my 3rd term, and I look forward to working with all my colleagues on this Health Committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Esther Helton Haynes. I'm going to go by Haynes from this day forward. This is my 3rd term and my 3rd term on the Health Committee. I love serving on this committee. It's great. And looking forward to passing some good legislation.
All right. Thank you. That's the committee, and we have some members here that from weather related could not make it in today, but we have a great committee. We also have staff working for us that we can't do what we do without the staff, and so I want to recognize them. Our committee attorney, back now to help for a while, Matt King. Our research analyst is Mike Critchfield. Our committee assistant is Megan Dix. We have 2 committee interns, Julian Sons. He was couldn't be with us today again because of weather related, and then Cindy Solis. We have Eilish Swinney, and I can't pronounce this. Maxim Hickey. Did I get it right? Close enough. And Tony Townsend is our Sergeant at Arms. I'd like to go over our guidelines for the committee. An e-packet will be provided to each of the committee members via email each week prior to the House Health Committee meeting. Anyone not serving on the committee or on the committee staff is asked to not be on the dais 5 minutes prior to or after the committee meeting. In the interest of time and fairness, time limits may be set on testimony relative to legislation. Parties should communicate to my office their interest in testifying and provide materials to my office 24 hours prior to presenting to ensure the information is relative to the legislation and that I can provide equal time. The deadline for putting bills on notice is 3:30 p.m. each Wednesday. All bill notices for full and subcommittees should be turned in via the dashboard. Amendments for House Health Full Committee are due by 10 a.m. each Tuesday, and House Sub and Population Health amendments are due by 10 a.m. each Monday via the email group House Health. I ask that each member that puts a bill on notice with the House Health Committee, I will provide them, or my assistant will send out a short form that I've asked. And it's an informational form. It's a process that I've done every time that we've been here. It's up to you really if you want to fill it out, but it definitely does help us. The process is, what problem are we looking to solve, or what is the premise of the issue? What are our goals? What are our options, and what's the feasibility, and what are the consequences of action or inaction on that? I'd appreciate if you get those turned into me before you present your bill. Helps us understand, helps me to understand, and maybe I can help you advocate for your bill. Budget hearings, we are working to schedule budget hearings with TennCare and the Department of Health in this committee. All other health-related budget hearings will be heard before the Finance Committee. And those meetings or watch them online if you'd like to get that information. Part, which is to have our Department of Health Commissioner, Dr. Ralph Alvarado, come up. I've told him this is a meet and greet, not a meet and grill. So let's keep this cordial and as introductory as we can. We'll have other times to have him come and ask other pertinent questions. And before we have him up here, I do say I appreciate him coming, and I do want to put a thank you out there to Dr. Piercy and Dr. McDonald, who had served previously in this, and particularly during COVID and all the things that have gone on. They did an incredible job, helped me out, and I expect we will have great things from Dr. Alvarado. So with that, I'd like to go out of session and without objection.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, the members of the committee. Can you hear me okay? Microphone's on. It's my pleasure to be here, and I appreciate the invitation. Kind of been asked to tell a little bit about myself, and so I thought I'd come by, try to write down as many notes as I could about my background so that all of you can get to know me a little bit better. My name is Ralph Alvarado. People often see the last name, and everybody's pronounced it very, very well. I get a lot of different pronunciations: avocado, desperado, silverado. Just not Alvarado, please. Anything that last day is really important for me. I'm a Christian physician, husband, a father of two. I've been married for 28 years, so I think I'm halfway to your goal. I'm hoping to get there at some point, God willing. I'm also the son of immigrants. My dad was from Costa Rica, my mom from Argentina. Both came to the country in the 1960s and met here, got married. My brother and I came along, and we were born and raised in that area. Went to a small Christian school called Loma Linda University near San Bernardino, California. Went to college down there, went to med school. I met my wife, Dawn, during that time. And I was pretty young getting into med school. I think I was age 20. So got engaged at the kind of at the conclusion of that, got married quickly, came to do residency at the University of Kentucky. And I think we had a 3-day honeymoon, and then went right to NICU training for neonatal intensive care. I did my training in internal medicine and pediatrics, and I'm board certified in both. And after my 4 years there in Kentucky, I got Kentuckified, is what I tell most people. We fell in love with the area in central Kentucky and eastern Kentucky and the people of Appalachia, and stuck around and developed a practice there. And the folks in that area are really salt of the earth people who would give you the shirts off their back. So established a practice and grew that into 3 physicians, 4 nurse practitioners. And once you start a practice as a doctor, I think a lot of us are just focused on science. Was never really a politically driven guy. But around 2003, there was an opportunity to pass tort reform. I was involved with organized medicine and the Kentucky Medical Association, and they encouraged us to reach out to our state legislators regarding that topic. So I called my state senator, asked him to vote a certain way. And he instead didn't vote at all on the issue, skipped the vote altogether. And I told my wife I was disappointed. I could handle somebody voting no. I wouldn't be happy about it, but not to give a voice at all, and that I needed to get more involved in that. Someone knocked on our front door while I was at the office a few weeks later, and my wife said, "Hey, somebody campaigning for governor, go ahead and put your sign out there. By the way, my husband wants to get more involved," and that person happened to be the local party chairman who had heard of me and said, "Hey, how about running for office?" And so as a lot of doctors do, we think, hey, I know how to fix these problems and fix issues. I want to run. Go ahead, let me get out there. So they asked me to run for House in that time. So I ran for House in 2004, had a close loss. 2 years later, ran again in 2006. It's a bad year for Republicans that year, got absolutely crushed. The Saturday after that campaign, my political opponents kind of spray painted a lot of racial slurs on the front of my house. And it scared my wife, scared my mom who lived with us, my kids, who were 6 and 8, wondering what those words meant and why they were there. And I thought I was done. I was just going to get more involved and help other people get elected. 2010, they reached back out and asked for me to run for state senate at that time, and got defeated narrowly. And then in 2014, hey, we're going to redistrict it, run one more time. And my wife said, just one more time, get this out of your system. It's a lot of work, and we all know how tough this is on our families when you're involved in this realm. And so my wife got diagnosed with breast cancer that year, debated dropping out of the race. She said, no, I'll go through all of this, get this out of your system and run. Really nasty race, but we wound up winning. And then a lot of things have really happened very quickly, things I never would have imagined since then. Had an opportunity to, was appointed as chairman of Senate Health and Welfare in Kentucky, and I managed to get about 43 bills during my time there done. A lot of good work that we got done really in terms of helping the practice of medicine. Also had an opportunity to introduce somebody during their presidential run, which was Senator Rand Paul at that time. Later, that led to an opportunity to speak at the National Convention in 2016. And then also got asked by a sitting governor to help to run with him as lieutenant governor in 2019 with Governor Bevin. During that time is when I had a chance to meet Governor Lee. After that, we lost that race narrowly, but later on ran into Governor Lee at different events, one of them in Chattanooga. And that, I think, led to an opportunity when he had an opening in the administration to have his staff reach out and ask if I was interested in serving in this capacity. At first, I was a bit hesitant. We're kind of empty nesters, and you get a little bit comfortable sometimes, and you think you know the folks around you. But really, a lot of prayer and talking to a lot of mentors, and one of them asked me fundamentally, do you want to be more of a politician or more of a doctor? And I took a lot of pride in saying I could do both, but they said you have to answer that question to determine if you want to do this role or not. And the political life is for a short while, but you're a doctor for life. And so they said, well, that tells you what you need to do. And so we went ahead and accepted the position and coming to the role here, and really an opportunity to work with a legislature and a governor who's philosophically aligned, and an opportunity to really impact the health of 7 million people in the state of Tennessee. And I think the state is really positioned in a place where if good things happen here, it has a regional impact for the neighboring states around us here. So come here. I know I've got very big shoes to fill with Dr. McDonald and Dr. Piercy, who have preceded me. They've done tremendous roles. They both have been tremendous in reaching out and giving me some advice on how to do things here in Tennessee. And I've been here for a little over 2.5 weeks now, Mr. Chairman, but I'm looking forward to the role. I've got a great staff around me, folks who are really well-versed in how things are done here in Tennessee, and I'm learning my way through, and I'm looking forward to working with the very dedicated people in the Department of Health who are here, really, many of them dedicated to making sure that health outcomes are good for the state, people who've dedicated their lives in that capacity. And I'm looking forward to really coming to all of your districts to meet the people that work in those very health departments and learn about the needs and how we can make things better. So with that, Mr. Chairman, a little bit of story about me. I'm honored to be here, and I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. And so you have a member of your staff there. I'd like to have her have the opportunity to speak and introduce herself, because this won't be the last time she's in front of this committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Olivia Spears. I'm the Assistant Commissioner of Legislative Affairs for the Tennessee Department of Health. I have nothing to add at this time, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. During the meet and greet, do we have any questions or any comments from members? Representative Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for coming before us today, Commissioner Alvarado. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So I'm curious why the first decision as Commissioner of Health was to directly endanger the lives of our Tennesseans.
I told him we'd keep this to a meet and greet. If you can keep your comments to that, please, I'd appreciate that. You are recognized.
Am I allowed to ask anything substantive?
We are doing a meet and greet here at this time.
Are you familiar with the Health Facilities Commission?
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
And do you have any say over the immediate jeopardy decisions that are made by that board, or does the executive director himself make those unilaterally?
I'm not aware, from my understanding is that has been, there's been somewhat of a change of the commission and from a lot of the organizations that are being supervised by the Department of Health that have been moved towards that. So from my understanding, I don't think we have any direct oversight over that, if I'm not mistaken.
Mr. Chairman,
You're recognized.
that board is no longer attached to the Department of Health. It's a separate agency.
You're recognized.
So the Department of Health has no say in whether or not those health facilities are licensed or placed in immediate jeopardy at all, correct?
The Health Facilities Commission is control of that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so exactly how much money are we turning away in HIV funding from the CDC? What's aggressive about that?
Just stay to meet and greet. That's what I've told him. Don't make me a liar in front of him.
Welcome to Tennessee, Mr. Alvarado.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll make a quick statement if it's all right, Mr. Chairman.
You're recognized.
Historically, Tennessee has provided HIV surveillance. I'd imagine you're referring to the HIV issue that's been before the press here recently, and that it's provided HIV surveillance testing and prevention services through a CDC pass-through grant from the federal government. These arrangements were made under prior administrations, and that the administration is examining areas where it can decrease its reliance on federal funding and assume increased independence. The state has determined that it is in the best interest of Tennesseans for the state to assume direct financial and managerial responsibility for these services. Currently, according to the pass-through grants, are both the integrated HIV programs for health departments to support ending the epidemic in the United States, and also the Tennessee Integrated HIV Surveillance and Prevention Programs for Health Department CDC grant as well. Those are going to basically end on May the 31st, 2023. So they're currently in place. No funding has been affected. Those are currently there and in place. Nothing has changed in that regard. This does not affect HIV treatment through the HRSA-funded Ryan White program, and the state is currently examining how an effective program will be implemented at the state level and will notify the community of specifics as soon as appropriate. I think the plans are to be able to request for those funds in the supplemental budget moving forward. So nothing has been affected at this point in time, and those are all currently in place until the end of May.
Thank you.
Councilwoman. Mr. Chairman, is he coming back before us at some point in the near future when we're not?
Yes, sir. He will be back before us.
Okay,
I understand that these questions are pertinent, and we will have the opportunity.
I appreciate that, and I understand that you understand their importance as well. And I just this is an important issue. I want to make sure we have an opportunity to discuss this issue fully. And the Commissioner, you just read a statement and about those direct funds from the CDC. I just want to recognize that there are losses associated with the 340B savings programs as well that haven't been mentioned. So I look forward to discussing that with you at a future date. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Chairman Hawk, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Alvarado, we met each other 2016, 2017, and we were fortunate to have participated in a Henry Toll Fellowship program through the Council of State Governments. And I just pulled up the alumni from our class of 2017, and there's a lot of folks that say former this and former that. So to have current by both of our names it seems to be a feather in our cap. So congratulations to you. I've met and known Commissioner Alvarado for all these years. He's a tremendous advocate for healthcare of individuals across not only Kentucky, but the country, and is going to do an exceptional job for us in the state of Tennessee. I trust his judgment going forward and the collaborative effort that we are going to have as a legislative committee with the administration on the issues that come before us. I also want to sing the praises, as you mentioned, your great staff that you've got. You do have a great staff, one of them sitting with you to your right as well. Ms. Spears does a tremendous job working with us and our constituents, and I applaud the team that you are building as you go forward and encourage you to continue working with the good folks that we have in place right now. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments from Representative Mitchell?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, Commissioner Alvarado, along with your statement, my simple question, just how much money, what's the amount of money we're talking about?
So my understanding is around $9 million.
$9 million.
That's correct.
Okay. And glad you're here and look forward to working with you and looking forward to talking with you about the health care of all Tennesseans, all children in Tennessee too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? All right, thank you for coming. I do appreciate it. And in my time, I've got to sit down with the commissioner, and I believe that when these come up, these issues come up, he's going to be prepared, and he knows that I specifically talked to him about being on the opposite side of the gavel, and he understands that, and I think he will do a great job, and looking forward to you answering the questions that we have as a committee and that our constituents want to know, and looking forward to working with you.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the committee.
All right, without objection, we are back in session. Back in session. Do we have any further comments or questions from the committee? Okay, seeing none, we are adjourned.